happens when these people are abused with horrible lawsuits?
Yeah, California citizens against lawsuit abuse are speaking up, and they're saying enough is enough.
California Citizens Against Lawsuit Abuse, or CALA, is the only grassroots movement pushing for legal reform here in California. That means it's all of us here today. We are the grassroots. We are the small business owners, the innovators, the job creators, the entrepreneurs who are creating jobs and businesses and tax dollars in California. And our mission is to raise the awareness about the cost and consequences of lawsuit abuse on our jobs and our businesses. Is what we're really trying to do is say, hey, California legislature, give us a break. Give us relief from shakedown lawsuits.
So let me give you a report from the front lines, how we're doing, so you'll be completely up to speed. We're getting creamed. You are now up to speed. The state of California passes some 900 new laws every year, and dozens of those are to the benefit of the trial attorneys and plaintiffs. Very few, I can't think of any, I'm sure there's been some, but I can't think of anything in the last 10 years that has actually been there to protect defendants or to give us any kind of a level playing field. It's so wrong what the trial attorneys and with the help of the legislature is able to do to small business people and regular old folk in the state of California. And CALA is fighting that fight, and that's why I support them, and we thank you for your support.
Maryann Marino joins us now to tell us more. Now, this is what's called tort reform, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And tort reform, an example of that, is where people use the legal system for their own personal gain. And the best way to show that is through examples of lawsuit abuse. We have 50,000 supporters statewide, a lot here in Pasadena, that have experienced lawsuit abuse, and they tell us stories about what happened. We have a man who owns a restaurant, and he shared how a patron came in with a little white 7-pound fluffy toy poodle, and he wanted this little 7-pound white fluffy toy poodle to have dinner with him on top of the dinner table. So the restaurant owner comes over and says, "Sir, we'd love to serve the dog a plate of food, but we better do that outside." So the patron left, turned around, sued the owner on the Abuse of the Americans with Disabilities Act, claiming the dog was a service dog. Well, this owner decided he was gonna fight. He was right. He did, and he won, but it cost him $100,000 to find out that dog wasn't a service dog.
Oh my gosh,
Right.
There's a lot of abuse in that area too with service dogs because you're not allowed to be questioned, and so
That's right,
people
you
are really
can't.
taking advantage of those
Exactly.
situations.
And the Abuse of the Americans with Disabilities Act is rampant here in California. I mean, you can almost go to a cocktail party and people are able to talk about it. But it's like stories like that, or we were in the desert and we had a town hall where small businesses come forward. And the one man shared how he was sued because the ramp going up to his front door was too high. I couldn't see it. It was smaller than my little finger here. But yet
The elevation
the
difference.
elevation, yes,
Right,
thank you.
right.
And yet it cost him $25,000 to fix that slope, and that was after the city had to come in and fix the sidewalk. So these are issues of what they call technical violation, where people who know about the loopholes in the law, they go and they abuse it for their own personal gain. But you know what it is? It's gotcha. They got him. They never tell them to, send them a letter, or they go in and they tell the manager, hey, you might want to fix the bathroom.
Corrective action first.
Right. They just go and outright sue. And they mostly target minority, small business owners because they know they have these little pots of money for $5,000 or $10,000, and they send them the letter. They say we're going to sue. They get that money, but do they ever come back and say, "Hey, did you fix that sign?" Absolutely not.
So are these the attorneys that are filing the suits, or are these private individuals who are filing the suits?
Well, there are unscrupulous plaintiffs and some unscrupulous attorneys. Not too long ago, Anderson Cooper on 60 Minutes did a great piece in December, how he showed how they go out and they start scouring. They become professional plaintiffs, and they start scouring, looking for mistakes.
Can they find financial gain as an individual too, or are they compensated?
Yes,
in
they
some way?
they get compensated in some way as well.
Sure, the attorney's going to get 40% or something like that, so it's worth it if it's found money, really, in some ways.
Absolutely.
With no real intention of actually, in many cases, going to trial, right? It's just the preliminary and the threat, and then what happens to the business owner's business while they're going through that. Is that correct?
That's correct, because everybody settles. You never want to go through litigation because the cost of litigation is explosive and you never know what the jury's going to do. So if you are a small business owner, for example, and you might be out of compliance with the ADA and you have technical violations, the wrong parking lot sign, the bathroom mirror too high, toilet too low, walkway not wide enough, you could be sued anywhere between $2,000 to $4,000 per each issue of technical non-compliance. So they would send you a letter saying you weren't in compliance, forcing you to settle for $10,000. And you will, because of the cost of litigation.
Sure. So now, I'm not an attorney, but wouldn't a strategy be to sort of counter that, get on the internet, find out whether or not somebody is a serial lawsuit filer,
find out? Yeah.
right, and then countersue on that basis? Is that a possibility at all?
Well, you know, you brought up a good point, and the good point is that there are vexatious litigants out there. They call them vexatious litigants. These people who go and, you know, I think a few years ago in Orange County, 400 people were sued all in the same day, 400 small businesses. They go to Google Maps and they just mass mail these lawsuits out. The good news is that at the federal level, there is a bill, H.R. 620, sponsored by Congressman Ted Poe out of Texas, but there's huge bipartisan support with mostly congresspeople from California because they know about all the abusive ADA lawsuits here. But what it would do is give a small business owner 120 days to fix the problem. After they received a letter from the aggrieved plaintiff talking about the accessibility issues, and it would prevent somebody from filing more than probably 15 lawsuits. You know,
That's
it would.
ridiculous. Yeah.
But these are the type of things that are impacting our small businesses, and we really feel strongly that they should be able to operate in a state that is fair and competitive and not one legally stacked against them.
And how do our viewers get in touch with you so they can learn more and become involved?
Thank you very much. You can go to our website, www.cala.com, cala.com. Get involved with us. You can become a supporter. We are a free organization. We send out alerts on bills to support and to oppose. And I would encourage them to call your local congressperson and ask them to support H.R. 620.
It's fascinating and important.
Right.
Yeah.
And now if a small business was being affected by this, are they able to get some resources from you directly also?
I'm not an attorney either, but there are attorneys involved who are ADA defense attorneys and business attorneys that would lend an ear. Yes.
All
Great.
right, thank you.
Great, yeah.
All right, coming up, it's time for CCN Arts with segment star Anne-Marie Villicana.
That's right. She brings a fantastic guest with her today, and he's involved in many genres of art. And I think if you're involved in cars or video games or anything that way, you will probably already know his work.
I'm excited to see it, yeah.